we are talking about how employers can increase the adoption of internal AI tools. But we'll start with ping pong and what ping pong coaches can teach managers about rolling out new AI workflows and tools to their employees. We'll cover the psychology of habit formation, the power of immediate feedback, and why most companies are getting AI training all wrong. So first, why ping pong? As you can see, I am taking ping pong lessons again and learning a lot about learning. So in ping pong, there's one stroke, and you never really need to change the stroke. You just need to change your speed. And while all that sounds objectively simple, it's actually insanely difficult to do. And so as you can see, my ping pong coach makes me do the same stroke over and over and over. It's mind-numbingly boring. But here's the thing, he's onto something. So research shows that this type of deliberate practice is actually what creates expertise. So in their book, Peak, The Secrets of the New Science of Expertise, Anders Ericsson and Robert Poole summarize decades of research, basically showing that what separates experts from everyone else isn't just practice. It is practice, but it's specifically practice repetition with immediate feedback. And Ericsson found no shortcuts and no prodigies who reached expert level with relatively little practice. And second, even among those gifted musicians, all of whom had been admitted to the very best music academy in Germany, the violinists who had spent significantly more hours practicing their craft were on average more accomplished than those who spent less time doing the deliberate practice. So why is repetition so powerful? Well, there are two reasons. First, it creates what psychologists call automaticity. But automaticity is something that you do without conscious thought. Think like how you drive a car. You're not thinking to yourself, okay, I'm now going to press the brake. Your body just does it. And this concept was extensively studied, if you want to look it up, in a paper called The Unbearable Automaticity of Being. So second, repetition builds confidence. So in a 2018 study in psychological science by Sanchez and Dunning, they found that as people repeated tasks, their confidence increased faster than their actual performance. I feel like this is speaking to me. Basically, I'm taking these lessons and I'm walking out feeling very confident in my abilities, more confident than I deserve to be. But this is an important insight for how people adopt new tools because learning is hard. And when we fail quickly, it's easy to lose motivation and give up. And what do you need to keep going? You need motivation. So it's exactly the opposite of what is needed. Confidence is a critical component to motivation and thus learning. And so this is very important. And the kind of caveat to this is we also need a coach to help keep us going. And the question would be is why can't we just practice on our own? This is where it gets down to more interesting and classic models of organizational change where its top-down only mandates are a little bit outdated. It's not that somebody needs to tell you exactly what to do. They need to give you more rapid feedback. So in a meta-analysis in the review of educational research, they found that immediate feedback was among the most powerful influences on learning and achievement, with effect sizes, and this is wild, that are more than twice other educational interventions. So the coach isn't just there to teach. They're basically providing instant correction when you're doing something wrong. And you can see how he's correcting me almost after every stroke. And this is obviously everything has caveats. So it's not that instant feedback is always good. It's good in kind of more simple tasks. If you're having a really complex task, highly specialized, highly complex task, there is some critique of this immediate feedback. It could actually demotivate. But for many tasks, and I would argue a lot of the tasks involved in learning a new workflow with AI or integrating it into your daily routines, this type of immediate feedback is actually pretty helpful. So I'll back up. So what does all of these theories on learning and motivation and confidence and repetition have to do with AI adoption? I would say everything, right? So mistake number one is that most companies do what I call the workshop and hope approach. They run a training session and they show examples. They get people excited about the new apps because why not? They're amazing things that are happening in the AI world. But then they hope that employees will start using the tool after an hour a week of learning something. And this is like watching a YouTube video about ping pong and then expecting to become an expert. It just doesn't work like that, right? That's first mistake, is the workshop and hope. The mistake two is that they focus on features, not on workflows. What I mean by that is imagine this guy, he's like trying to teach me spin and he's explaining the physics of spin. It's like, It's cool to learn about the physics of spin, but it's not actually what will drive me to have a ball that spins. I need to know how to move my body to create the spin. And so with successful companies that we've seen and coached, they're actually identifying one workflow, let's say summarizing meeting notes with an LLM, whatever app you want to use, and then you drive that repetition of that one workflow until it becomes automatic. Sure, you can basically tell people how important it is, but it's really critical to actually do the motion and continue to do it. This is like the muscle memory he's trying to teach me right now. So what's the playbook for driving AI adoption? I'm going to go through this very simply. It's first, you pick one workflow, just one. Make it something high value that people do frequently. You can imagine if you're a sales team, you're analyzing sales data, you do this weekly, it's a high value thing. Pick this type of a workflow, high value, you do it frequently. Second, create a dedicated practice time. This is not when you have time, right? This is scheduled, non-negotiable time. And you're not telling people about the tool or the practice. You're actually having time for you, yourself, or your team to practice it. So research and habit formation also shows that consistency is critical to forming new habits. You can't just try it once or twice and then in a month think that you can try it back and you haven't, you don't remember these types of gaps. Okay, and the third is to provide immediate feedback. And this is where AI coaches could come in, peer mentors, and even automated systems that can detect when users are struggling. Could just be that you're all in a room doing this and you have a place for people to ask feedback, or you're sending your report out to somebody, or somebody sees your report and they say, wow, that could have been done with AI. And finally, embrace the boring. So progress isn't about learning new features or tools. There are so many new tools out there, right? Knowing all the new tools doesn't actually make you an AI expert. It's about making those basic workflows automatic and such that AI becomes as natural as picking up the ping pong paddle, right? The goal isn't to turn yourself or your team into the AI expert for all tools. It's to make one valuable workflow completely automatic. And just like in ping pong, mastery comes from doing the same thing over and not learning 100 different tricks. By the way, the other thing is that in ping pong, the lesson always starts with backhand. Why? Because the backhand stroke is just easier to master than forehand. And for people who are in their the early journey of learning ping pong, it starts with the low-hanging fruit. And that's probably something good. Like when you're learning an AI tool, just start with some low-hanging fruit about basic queries that you can do in Claude or ChatGPT that would make your life easier. Okay, so if you're interested in learning more about driving behavior change in organizations, you should 100% reach out to my team at Irrational Labs, Kristen at irrationallabs.com. I would just say don't challenge me to a ping pong match yet because obviously I'm still working on the basic stroke.